Hi everybody, Ali here from Sweet November Stamps. Welcome to the YouTube blog hop. Today we are celebrating our newest clear stamp release, and I'm going to be using the August Peridot Dragon and our cool fantasy postmarks today. Alright, I've already prepped my card with our cutie patootie, and we're going to add our postmarks later. Let's get to coloring in our background here. We're going to start by putting our masks on because we are going to do some quick and fast ink blending. I'm using some Eclipse masking tape, which comes in a roll like this. It's really nice, relatively sticky but not too sticky masking paper. And I'm just going to lay down my masks. And it's a nice 6-inch wide, so you can mask off landscapes and all kinds of fun stuff with such a wide piece of tape. And of course you can cut it to size. And we just have to find that sweet spot for our little dragon. We're going to be using some Distress Oxides today. I'm going to start with mustard seed. We're going to use some white acrylic paint to put some splatters across our background, as well as a little bit of water. I'm going to add my paint to my paint tray and add a couple of drops in just to make it a little bit more flowy. And I'm going to use a toothbrush because I get really nice fine splatters with the toothbrush, with it having little bristles. So we're going to kind of concentrate it around the red. I just wanted to show you that with that mask, it's a paper mask and it had lots of water. I don't know why it all ended up there, but I do have some bleed through, but that's okay. We will make it work. It's okay to have oopsie doopsies. That's where our coloring can help us out. All right, we're going to start with greens. We want our little feller green here today. I'm going to start by mapping out my lightest color first. We're going to start with YGO3, and we're going to do the main body of our feller here. let's work on his wings, his belly, and his bumpy lumpies. All right, we're going to go with the purple shades for this. I'm going to start light and kind of mock in the curvature of the wings. We're going to keep the inside of the wings relatively light, and yes, I still have to go back and do the insides of his ears yet. Okay. So we're just kind of making them curvy shaped to start off with here. And then we're going to do his horns. For his belly here, I'm going to go in and use a little bit of a different color purple just to mix it up. This is more on the pinker side. So we'll start with a base of V01. Then we'll go with a vibrant VO4. Get a little bit of the shading in. I'm just going to flick just for the moment. We'll come back and blend. There we go. We're going to go in and do his ears. I'm going to put a base of the light yellow. Traditionally, a Peridot gem is kind of a light green, just like he is. But because I already have light green as my dragon, I want to set it apart. So I'm going to go back to the yellow. So again, this is just a cut gem, so it can be anything you want. But that's specifically what it is designed for this gem. Okay, we're going to go in with some Ys. I'm going to not be specifically methodical with this. And we're just going to throw in some bright. We might throw in a tiny bit of orange just to get a little bit of depth in this. I'm not going for realism. I'm going to go for my lightest. I'm just looking to get in some color. Now, because the gem is clear, we can also go back and add reflections or hints of the colors that are in behind. So YG01, because it's going to pick up instances of him in the reflection, like under his chin would be reflected in the gem. So you can get creative. And because he has this very, very light violet, we're going to put a hint of violet in it. And again, I'm not picking anything specific. I'm just using my brain just to put some hints in there. I'm not looking for realism because gems are hard. So a little hint of that. And we could even go, because we have orange surrounding him, we could even put in a little bit of orange. Again, I'm going very light, transparent. There we go. And I think that's good because we want it to kind of stand out from his body, and that does. All right, we need to finish his eyes. His eyes are beautiful, so let's highlight them. To them. Oh, and I just oopsie doopsied. Good old 0. Push that marker back into the... And we just have a little bit of horn left. I'm going to go 40s. I'm going to go in with a black colored pencil, and I'm going to play up some of those shadows even more. So light touch. This just helps bring a little bit more definition as to what sits in front in your foreground and what sits in the background. So his chin is obviously a little bit more prominent in front than the wing. And the reason why I like colored pencils sometimes to do this rather than go in and add shadow with Copics is I can be very specific where I want darkness. And if I have a oopsie doopsie, I can go in and actually use just a regular eraser to lighten something and almost get rid of it. So I'm just adding hint, and because you can layer and layer and layer, I can layer as much dark as I want. It's kind of like using markers, but it's almost softer. So if I want a little bit more darkness, then I can do that very simply with my colored pencil. So this horn is obviously sitting in front of the wing, so we can just make sure that that wing is a little bit darker. And you can use your pencil in a softer manner if you just flip it in your hand a little bit. This almost makes you concentrate and add a softer level of pigment. You can accentuate things. You can add details like scales and things like that using it as well. Add a little bit of subtle shadow onto your gem. Again, you can just use it to push things further by just putting a hint of color. I'm just using small circles, and it works really, really well. And again, just switch. I'm just going to put a little shading in the eye here. And of course you can use other colors as well. We can also accentuate the detail that our Oopsie Doopsie created. So I picked kind of something similar in color. And I can extrapolate that detail to the rest of his body. So he's got a few freckles in places that he didn't before. He's even got a few freckles on his horns. Again, I'm just mimicking that Oopsie Doopsie. See, a few more on his legs. And it looks like they're supposed to be there the whole time. There we go. Super duper cute. And then we're going to fill in the stamp. To finish off our card, we're going to use the fantasy postmarks, and we actually have one right down at the bottom that is dragon themed. We're also going to use the 44-cent and the cancellation stamp right there. And because I want kind of an imperfect image, I'm actually going to use a block and not my stamping tool. This is a slate ink, so this is slightly lighter ink. So this is slightly lighter ink and isn't as black and crisp as our other black ink. So I'm just going to kiss it. We're going to put on our 44-cent, and again, I am just going to use this ink here. It's okay to cover up any details. And we want our cancellation image as well. So we're going to use this. And if you want a lighter image, you can always stamp off first to get rid of a lot of that ink and just do a very, very light impression. And there's our final card featuring the August Peridot Dragon and our fantasy postmarks. Thanks for joining me. Make sure you check out the description below for the next person on the hop, and hope you get a chance to win our entire release for July. Good luck!